Seems like it's time for another dispatch from my bedroom because this is where I'm filming now because my family is everywhere. Hi everybody. Today I did something that I have been afraid to do ever since we started self-isolating. I opened my Powersheets. That's right. I have been ignoring them all month. When I got back from Chicago, I had them set up for March, and before all the self-isolating and everything happened, I was feeling awful. I had burst a cyst while I was in Chicago and spent about a week on my back. So this is what my Powersheets look like. Note the lack of anything on there. Now that doesn't mean I didn't do some of this stuff, but it does mean that I just ignored them this month, which is funny. That's the first month I've ignored them since starting to use them on a regular basis since last year. Oh, I hate this coil so much. So many things I love about these Powersheets. This coil is not one of them. So I've been avoiding them because it's like, what the hell's the point, right? Like I'm going to do a podcast this week. I haven't recorded it yet. My podcast schedule's all over the place on productivity and how we look at it when we're in a situation like this. There's a video by Tiffany Ferg I totally recommend. I'll link it down below on productivity and so on and so forth. But it occurred to me when I was thinking about it that I really wanted to kind of reassess my goals and think about how I can apply them towards this uncertain time. There's spots in my goal setting that I'm not really ready to face yet. I'm trying to rethink how I look at my goals and how I look at goals in general during this time because I need something to work towards. I would love it if they told me that we were working towards this end date and then everything would be fixed or everything would be better. But we don't have that right now. And hi Lou. Kitty's joining me. I had to go close the door. Hi Lulu. And if you hear my husband in the background, it's because he's also got a phone call right now. You know, we all understand this life right now. Anyway, I know it's not reasonable to expect that, to expect some sort of like knowledge about when this is going to be better because we can't know that. So giving myself things to move towards will help with my feeling of being lost. That's really what it is. I said so on my Discord this morning. If you're interested in the Discord, I'll link that below as well. I said that I feel like a ship that's like just sort of lost on the water, like just sort of bobbing around, not really sure where it's going. And I figure if I can give myself some boundaries, I might be, at least feel a little less discombobulated, a little less out of sorts. And I'll apologize for the lighting, whatever. I'm not going to keep apologizing. Fuck apologizing. So I went into my Powersheets and I didn't do any of like the quarterly refresh or whatever. I just went to the pages with my goals on them, these original goal action plan pages. And I printed a new sheet for some action items for the next quarter. Although I'm also acknowledging that I didn't put any dates except for like tomorrow's date on these to start the quarter off. Acknowledging that who knows? Time is a construct right now. So these are just some things for the foreseeable future for me to work on. And my first goal, I actually don't have anything for. And it's not because I don't want to keep working towards it. It's because until I get my mind under control, it's hard for me to be really creative and think about fun things to talk about. There are some YouTube people who seem to be taking this all in stride, or at the very least able to keep making their content. And for me, it has been a hot ass struggle to keep making stuff to put out there because I don't want to fucking fake it. I don't want to do plan with me's when I'm already feeling completely lost. I don't want to like do a bullet journal. I'm like, well, let's do things better. Let's make a bullet journal. So, no, I don't even want to fucking touch my bullet journal. So doing videos is very hard for me right now. So I am doing my best with live streaming and with whatever to try and bring you reality, whatever the case may be. Anyway, so my first goal is to grow my community to 100K, and I've been doing pretty well, like going right along, but my action items are completely blank because I'm not sure yet. I think if I can work on some of these other things first, I'll be able to come back to this and come up with some ideas for that. But for now, my goal is to just continue to try and put out 3 videos a week and a podcast a week. And that's going to be hard enough because I still haven't figured out a good workflow with everybody being home. That's something that I'm working on. Maybe that could be written down. Maybe I'll write that down. That's going to be, okay, we just figured it out. Where's my pen? Am I sitting on my pen? Because I'm on my bed. Lulu, where's my pen? I know I have one. I brought one in here. This is what happens, my dudes. I was sitting on it. I'm going to put that on here. I'm going to put create isolation workflow. I put videos, podcasts, and live streams because those are the 3 things that are the most impacted by being in a 1,100 square foot house with 2 teenagers and a husband who are all having to do their own Zoom calls and loudness and everything else. So I got an action item on for this goal. See, this is why I do these things, because when I get on camera and I'm starting to talk about it, I start thinking about it. Hell yeah. Goal number 2, ensure financial stability by building income, savings, and a working budget. We still haven't done a budget yet, so we should do that and just increase savings more than anything else. Just continue to increase our savings because while we're both working, it feels like a prudent thing. I haven't figured out action steps yet for these 2 things, just these 2 mini goals. Create the budget and increase savings because I want to talk to Jess about those. So, but those seem to be interesting. And like doing things like releasing a series of paintings, I'm still working on them, but like right now I'm just sort of going along with things because I don't know what else to do right now. So anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Now, goal number 3 has taken a massive hit in this last month, and that is my building better boundaries around my time and energies goal. I spent the first couple of months of 2020 really trying to put some boundaries in place with stuff mainly involving my church, and it's because I wanted to get back to a place where I could get nourishment from my church without over volunteering myself. But then as everything has gone on, because I know how to use things like YouTube Live and Zoom, I have actually gotten a lot of volunteering at my church. And so I need to reestablish some boundaries while at the same time recognizing this is a time for me to pour some energy into it to make sure that our community doesn't suffer because I have that particular skill set, whatever you want to call it. I put 2 things on here. I put 1 mini goal with a couple of action steps, and I put 1 goal with no action steps because I'm not really sure what to do with it yet. So I have take time off. And this isn't just from church, this is from working too. 1 day off per week, no phone at dinner, and no phone after 8 p.m. These are all things I worked really hard on last year, and then they happened, and then when this self-isolation happened, everything went to shit. So I just want to reestablish those things. And then I put you are not on call for church on here. I don't really know how to coordinate that in terms of goals, but it's something to remind myself of that unless it's something like absolutely emergency, I don't have to answer everybody's questions right away. I can set aside time for them each day or whatever the case may be. So that's going to be one of my mini steps. Have like a church email time each day. See, we're doing things. Moving on to goal number 4. And this one is one that is a hot mess for me right now. And that is develop and nurture routines in all areas of my life. You would think being home with my family here, not going anywhere, that I would have this down pat. Hell no. I have been sleeping in really late while at the same time not getting great sleep. I feel like crap, like not in a virus kind of way, but in a my kidneys really hurt kind of way, and in a high stress and anxiety kind of way. I read somewhere that our exhaustion and our like mental and physical exhaustion is a trauma response, and so any routine I'd had going on is completely out the window right now. The only routine I have been consistently kind of clinging to is my skincare, and even that I have just been doing the basics. I haven't even been messing with doing extra steps. So I have a blank action items list because I'm not really sure what the best place is to start with this. And what I think the next few goals, I actually have quite a bit. And I feel like if I can start acting on some of the other things that I've got going in the next 4 goals, that will be something maybe in a couple weeks I can go back to my routines goal and reassess that. But for right now, this goal, this develop and nurture routines in all areas of my life, this goal is kind of on the back burner until I can figure out some of the other things that need to happen. I feel like the routines will start being developed out of that, but it's not a goal I specifically want to put a lot of work into. I'm not about the whole journal and all this other shit right now. I just don't want to do that right now. I don't want to worry about that. I want to worry about the basic living stuff at the moment. And that's one of the takeaways from this whole video for you, is if you've had goals that you've been working towards and you look at one and you're in this situation right now and you can't even begin to consider working on it, don't be afraid to set it to the side and not fucking worry about it, because the rule book is kind of thrown out the window right now. And so you don't have to hold yourself to shit if it doesn't feel like it is good for you at the moment. And that's what I'm doing with this goal number 4. I will come back to it. It is important to me. But at the moment, it is low on the priorities list. All right? Now, but speaking on high on the priorities list, and kind of this is the goal that kind of gets the most play from us all being locked in the house together, is prioritize quality time, both as a family and as a couple. We got a lot of it right now. So I actually kind of got this whole thing filled out, and it's funny, it's kind of split into different ways. I have spent fun time together. We're together all the time, but some of that time needs to be fun time. So I put, for the action steps, I put board games, walks, and dinner together each night. And then I put spend time alone, each of us. Not just alone because we're working or working on school or working on work, but just alone quality time with ourselves. For the kids and for Jess, it's video games. For me, it's reading. The kids are also reading, Jess is reading, and going on walks by yourself. So getting some quiet time, because we all need that. And then I put spend time one-on-one, so me and Jess with individual kids or the kids with each other. And that is something that I didn't put anything here because I feel like that's something that, like, RJ and I went to the store. I know you're supposed to go to the store by yourself, one person per cart, but I can't lift heavy things. So I take one of the kids with me when I go, and RJ really likes going, or going for walks or whatever, but just trying to prioritize time, relaxing time, fun time, quality time with each other in different iterations and by ourselves right now, because everything is so high stress. We're like moving at the speed of a snail, and yet at the same time, everything feels super stressful. So trying to kind of bring that down a skosh is kind of the focus of this goal. Goal number 6, tend to the body and spirit I have right now as kindly as I can. A lot of this goal was wrapped around finding a living donor. I'm not going to go deep into it. If you want me to, I can do it in a later podcast or video. But there is a huge amount of anxiety and stress for me right now when it comes to living donors, kidney transplant, dialysis, all of that. This whole situation has massive impact on all of those things, and I don't want to even think about it. It's the source of a lot of my anxiety. So I'm setting that to the side because it's not a thing to really work on right now. And instead I have this in 3 categories. Again, 3 mini goals. Stay physically healthy, stay mentally healthy, and try new things. So for staying physically healthy, I have walk every day, 8 glasses of water, like 8 or whatever, like drinking enough water every day, because that's something that has fallen a little by the wayside as I have been much more on the coffee train. And eat fruits and veggies daily. And this is a big thing for me right now, because when I stress eat carbs and salty things and fruits and vegetables. While carbs, they're not the kind of carbs I stress eat. I stress eat croissants and scones and biscuits, and you get the idea. So getting fruits and vegetables into my body daily. Stay mentally healthy. I have keep a tidy work environment, because goddamn, when I get stressed out, my shit becomes sloppy as fuck, and it just adds to my thing. So if I can keep my office area tidy, I will be more inclined to get some shit done, which will make me feel better. If it's a fucking mess, I'll go do something else. Get fresh air daily, whether that's walking outside or sitting in the backyard or just going and sitting on the front porch for a few minutes. Fresh air does the world for me, and I really need more of it. And then reading daily. And I am rereading The Wheel of Time right now. I'm not holding myself to reading any self-development books or any like fancy books. I'm rereading one of my favorite series, and that is enough for me right now. And then for trying new things, I want to find some stretching. I would love to hear from you if there are any videos, any people online, any apps, anything like that that you know about that does things like restorative yoga. Like, I want to do something. I need to find some sort of stretching that I can do every day that is not going to fuck with my midsection, because the last thing I want to do is burst a cyst right now and get an infection. Some kind of like careful yoga for wusses or stretching for wusses. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. New recipes. I'm going to try one. Oh God, what? Probably sometime later this week I'm going to be making one. A new, it's made from scratch hamburger helper. Fuck yeah. And then getting 8 hours of sleep, like good sleep. I'm going to be trying a lot, and this might go into the new routines thing, to really be working on getting quality sleep. That's something to work on. Now, this goal. Step into more local connections, both work and personal, and develop them. Well, I'm not going to be going out much. I was kind of at a loss. I actually had in-person workshops scheduled that we had to postpone till June because obvious reasons. So the only thing I have on here is to schedule Zoom happy hours with our friends a couple times a month. We'll see if that happens. This is one of those goals, kind of like the routines one, where I'm like, I'm not too worried about it. This is funny. It can get really exhausting talking to people. And I already have my patrons who I talk to, and my family who I talk to, and my family in the house and my family out of the house who I've been talking to, and some friends I've been talking to. And I don't know if I want to add more to that. All my church people. I'm peopling enough as it is. I kind of want to just let this one sort of sit. Like if the routines is on the back burner, but I'll be pulling it onto the front burner at some point, this one is probably on like the far back burner. I'm just saying. And then craft a home environment we are proud of. Well, this one might get a lot of play. We shall see. I have cleaned the garage, which was something that was on my list for March, but it hasn't happened for various reasons. And I have for my action steps to organize the shelving in the garage, get everything clean and separated out, and then to dispose of the trash, and then figure out a plan for donations, although I don't think we'll be able to get donations picked up at any time soon if we have them all collected, and then a plan for as soon as donations are picked upable again, whatever. Sprinkling the house, mainly meaning our windows, our baseboards, and our floors, and cleaning up the backyard. We've got some trash back there from some of the projects that have been going on, getting the yard, like greens in the backyard, under control, and then sweeping and arranging the furniture so we as a family can utilize it a bit more as the weather gets better. And those are my goals. Now, are they big, fancy, fucking fabulous? No. And a lot of them are things I did last year, and I did so much work, and then they just sort of went because I have been so stressed out, and I'm not feeling bad about it. A word for the year was become. I'm going to create a second word of the year for this particular crisis time, and that is forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive other people, because we are all in a massively stressful time of our lives, so don't be mad at yourself for not being super productive. If you are sleeping in, if you feel kind of like a slug, it's okay. You're not alone. Do the best you can. Forgive yourself when you are getting upset with your lack of getting shit done, and try and extend forgiveness to other people, because we all are on a tightrope right now with our emotions, with our stress levels, with our exhaustion. Nobody is being their best self right now, so don't feel like you have to be, and don't expect it out of other people. Let's try and give each other a little bit of slack and forgiveness right now, but especially yourself. So if going through your goals and reframing them in this is going to be helpful for you, then by all means join me and tell me about it in the comments below. And if that just is too overwhelming, then don't do it. Figure out what works for you and do as much of that as possible. All right? I care so much about all of you guys. I want to hear how you're doing in the comments. Please let me know. It's really scary right now for a lot of us, for all of us, and community is something that can help get us through times like this, and I am very grateful for this online community. No lie. I will be going live on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time to do something wacky, probably a washi tape manicure. I'm not sure yet, so be sure to subscribe to come find that, and there will likely be a hot mess plan with me this weekend too. I don't even know. Just stay tuned, and if you really want to know behind the scenes, you can join the Discord or join my Patreon. My patrons are great, and they are getting the best of me online right now because that's just how I structure my life. So, and they're not stuck in an 1,100 square foot house with me right now. Those people are not getting the best of me right now, let's just say. Anyway, you guys, like I said, subscribe, take care of yourselves, and until next time, my dudes, peace out.